Hello, welcome to Author Spotlight on Nick Cardy. If you are a Marvel zombie collector, you most likely will not be very familiar with Nick Cardy because he is mainly a DC guy. I was not aware that he was living in my hometown. I only heard about him living near me when he passed away, so that was a kind of a bummer that I didn't realize that he lived so close. But I have a few of his book, and I felt that he definitely is one of those DC artists that deserve a spotlight. Nick Cardy did a lot of work in the Silver Age. Unfortunately, I do not have a lot of his work with Aquaman and Teen Titans, but I did pull out one of the few that I have, and this is definitely one of my favorite Silver Age Aquaman cover that he did. Nick Cardy have a style of his own, and I like it. I love his layout. No doubt, I think at this stage of his career, maybe Neil Adams has some influences on his panel layout because, as you can see, it is quite inventive and stylish compared to the traditional square. Nick Cardy did a lot of his inking, and I have always felt that if he has more time to ink his work, the result would have been different because some of his work felt a little bit rushed, in my opinion. But overall, I really enjoy looking at his work, especially on the few Aquaman book that I have. Look at the layout. Look at even this simple page. It's not square. For most of his career, he didn't really work with an anchor, from what I can tell. But his layout, design, anatomy is really good. To me, I like his style more than many other DC artists at the time. But I couldn't help it. But every time I flip through this book, what would happen if he was teamed up with somebody like a Tom Palmer or even like Sid Shore? Beautiful. I am a bigger fan of Nick Cardy over Murphy Anderson. Not that I don't like Murphy Anderson, but as far as DC Silver Age artists, I really, really like Nick Cardy and Joe Kubert for sure. But you can see, really good. One of the things that I would compare Nick Cardy to would be, say, somebody like Gil Kane, over at Marvel, because even though he did a lot of penciling of the interior during the Silver Age in the 60s and even earlier, look at that. It's a beautiful shot of Aquaman. When he I don't mind when he have that scratchy style, but whenever he tighten up the inking. Look at that. That's just gorgeous. That is as good as anybody. That's why, you know, I think if I the dream team for me is with many artists is Tom Palmer. I think Tom Palmer would make his art come alive even more. But you know, go back to the comparison with Gil Kane. You know, Nick Cardy did a ton of penciling in the 60s, but from the early 70s onward, the last few years of his active career with DC, he did hundreds of covers. You know, when you think about, before I move on, just look at this full page. Gorgeous. Just look at that. It's one of those drawings that you had to look closely and then pan up to fully appreciate. Just look at that. He is the artist for Aquaman, no doubt in my mind about it. Back to what I was saying about drawing covers. When he was drawing mainly covers in the early 70s, no doubt horror was a big part of it. You know, when you're talking about, you know, Neil Adams and Bernie Wrightson, the next artist that most, for me, come to mind would be Nick Cardy, because he did a lot of fantastic covers for many of the DC horror in the early 70s. And here is a beautiful Brave in the Bold. Just look at that. I just love everything about this cover. From the logo design to the color scheme, just beautiful. Gorgeous. For the rest of this video, I will just focus on covers, because unfortunately I do not have a lot of books with Nick Cardy penciling inside. In this book, yes, there is his penciling for the entire book, which is quite nice, as you can see right here. Nice looking splash page. But let's focus on covers. One of his iconic horror covers, Ghost number 1. It's my copy. This is an incredibly difficult book to find in high grades. This one have a few spine text here and there on the spine. I'd probably say it may be a 9, maybe. Here is Witching Hour. He did a lot of covers for the early Witching Hour books, and they are just awesome. Okay, this is incredible. One of my favorite DC horror #1 issue for sure, even more so than Ghost. Just love that cover. Beautiful. It's a very short book also. A DC horror Silver Age. Here is another Witching Hour. Front a few times you actually see his signature. This beautiful color. You get blue and purple and red. It's gorgeous. Here's another one. Take a look at this one. I felt that, you know, for Nick Cardy, whenever he has time to tighten up his penciling with his inking, it the end result is just gorgeous. Just look at that. Such an awesome cover. And he did a lot of covers for the not so popular horror title like Secret of the Sinister House. Here's a crazy looking cover. And then look at this one. And then this one. The majority of these books came from the collection of David. For those that watch a lot of my videos, you know who I'm talking about. I bought the bulk of my horror book and war books from him years ago. One of the most obscure title, but I absolutely love this cover. Weird Mystery. Incredible covers. Look at that. Just awesome. This book is razor sharp, newsstand fresh. Beautiful. And then occasionally when Wrightsons and Adams and Kaluta is not doing it for House of Secret, here you go. Let's look at this beautiful purple covers. Love it. And this one, beautiful cover. Perhaps one of my favorite House of Secrets that he did is this one here. I absolutely love this cover. Look at that. And then one title that he did a lot of work is Unexpected. A great cover right here. Just an awesome, awesome cover. If not, and the next one is, I think, one of his greatest. This one is so awesome. I stared at this cover so many times, and it just, like I said, when Nick Cardy is really tight with his penciling and inking, the end result is absolutely beautiful. Just look at this. The details, the amount of details on the flowers and the plants, just look at that. Just gorgeous. Everything about this cover is beautiful. One of my favorite of Nick Cardy horror covers for sure. Just beautiful. This is a real fun one. I always love covers with cats. Curse of the Black Cat. Let's look at that. It's beautiful. And this one here is crazy but cool. So let's look at this crazy clown. It's like Nick Cardy did so much, work for the DC that I think often is overshadowed by Wrightsons and Neil Adams and Kaluta. But hopefully you agree with me that he deserves a lot of high praises based on what I'm showing here in this video. in this video. Just love it. And this is a great cover. The first time I saw this book, I thought it was a Bernie Wrightson cover until I looked up the credits just to make sure, and it turned out to be a Nick Cardy work. Look at that. Follow the piper to your graves. Okay, let's finish up. Last but not least, Midnight summons the executioner. And that's it, my friend. I hope you enjoyed the video, a spotlight on Nick Cardy. Thanks for watching.